There's an old saying that carries a whole lot of truth. The saying is, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Today's core value, I want to talk about relationships. Relationships. Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast. 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. I think you know how important it is to have relationships for your education, for your career, for dating, for growing a family. In fact, without relationships, you're pretty much a loner all of your life. But the challenge for a lot of people is choosing the right relationships, building the right relationships, and prioritizing relationships. When I talk about relationship as a core value, I'm not putting one type of relationship over another in priority. What I'm saying is prioritize human beings in the relationship that you have. It's an absolute truth that in America, there is a problem with racism. There's no doubt about it. But to believe that, just because it's true that in America there's a problem with racism, that racism is an American problem, is an absolute fallacy. In fact, today, right now, countries all over the world, continents all over the world, have the same or bigger racism problems than we have in America. And it's not all about skin color. Sometimes it's just about a bloodline. Sometimes it's just about a dialect, the way people speak. It's about the class system and the caste system, even where they grew up as far as the amount of money that they have or the type of education that their family has. And in some of those systems, there's no chance to break free and move up the ladder, so to speak. You can't just decide, I'll go get an education, which will give me a better job, which means I'll earn more money, which means I'll live in a different part of town, which means I'll have better opportunities and better advantages. In some places in the world, that opportunity does not exist. It simply doesn't. Now, when we prioritize relationships, even over how much money will I make, how will I climb the ladder, how big will my business grow, when those things drive us, the dominating bottom line is all about the bottom line versus the dominating bottom line being about relationships. Do I treat people fairly? Am I filled with compassion and concern for other humans? Do I put my life on the line, whether it's figuratively, financially, or physically? Do I put my life on the line for other people first? Do I choose other people over myself on a regular basis? Now, that may seem like I'm saying everyone needs to be a martyr and everyone needs to be a soldier and everyone needs to get out there on the front line and be willing to die for what they believe in. And while there's some truth to that, in a personal or intimate relationship, sometimes putting your life on the line, laying down your own wants and desires, simply means that you give the last potato chip to your friend or to your spouse or to your significant other. It might mean that you hold the door open and step out of the way for an absolute stranger because they have their hands full. It might mean that as the boss, you realize you can take vacation because you can afford to take vacation and you can afford the time off financially and the work's going to get done because you got all those employees anyway. And yet, in a busy season, you skip the vacation time that would have been nice to go hang out in the Bahamas for a few days and you stay instead in the business and you work as hard as your employees. See, that's not putting the bottom line first, that's putting other people first. That's when your core value is anchored in relationships. You value humanity over profit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a capitalist through and through. I'm a free market guy. I believe that if you work hard, you can, through merit, build yourself up. You can learn. You can educate yourself. You can create new opportunity for yourself. But I also believe that there are people out there who put profit before people. And there are businesses out there that are so focused on the bottom line, they don't even ask the question, do I add value to somebody else? They just want to get you to buy it. That, my friends, is not relationships as a core value. But regardless of what level of leader you are, I don't care if you're in kindergarten or you're the king of the world, relationships with other human beings has to be a core value. You've got to make people more important than profit. You've got to make people more important than politics, people more important than production. If people are the most important thing, if relationships are a core value to you, then every decision that you make will be for the betterment of the people around you. The ones that work for you, the ones that work with you, and the ones that you serve. Relationships should be a core value, no matter where you are. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom.